Hello. That's all you're getting.
That's all.
That's it.
That's all.
That's it.
Yeah, that sounds.
Welcome to the next topic.
Did you see that I remembered?
Yes, I did. I actually liked it because I did check, and you had them all laid out. So Dylan probably doesn't even know what we're talking about because.
For what?
Did you watch last week's episode?
Sure didn't.
I didn't actually. I started watching it and then I got
Didn't
distracted.
get far enough. That was pretty early on.
It was pretty early.
Yeah,
I said I wasn't sure if I would remember to edit in the pictures of the mustache challenge, but I did.
You saw mine, right?
Yeah.
Did,
I actually watched our podcast.
Yeah. I normally do too. Back up. But RJ's has
throw it in there.
Badass. Like I wish he would have kept it because he totally pulled off like.
He's already got the photos. He got the trophy coming, the shave kit.
Yeah, I still
He's already claimed his reign as Supreme Beard on top. So.
Did you say Supreme? Supreme leader of Snoke?
Oh God.
Oh,
that's my transition. We're talking about Star Wars today.
You mean that throwaway character now?
Dude.
Full spoilers. So if you haven't watched it, first off, what are you doing
now?
With your life.
Yeah. You might.
Two, you should probably stop watching.
I would.
So yeah, let's just jump straight into that.
Wait, I haven't seen Star Wars.
Well, that's too damn bad.
You need to
No,
leave. We should have started with Adam.
So yeah, Snoke.
How powerful is that guy? Woohoo! Lightning! Oh my god, he's like levitating people's and bodies. That guy can't be stopped.
He's like inside their minds.
He's like, you can read their thoughts. He's practically
like
Xavier, Professor Xavier.
I think,
but Star Wars.
Overall, like I liked the twist of like Kylo turns on him and chooses to like, rather than turning good, Kylo kills him to then like take his position as a Sith would. But it does feel weird. It's like, will we ever learn who he was or
not today?
Like what the point was of him?
Nope, all build up.
Yeah, I just I feel like everyone had so many theories about Snoke, and it was like, this big thing, and like it was just a throw. It was like it doesn't matter.
I think that is the main complaint I've heard with this movie. We should probably kind of start in just a second with our impressions, so that we kind of.
I'm gonna be riled up today, just so y'all know.
Because I feel like this has been one of the most polarizing Star Wars movies. I've seen people say that this is the best since Empire, and I've seen people say that this is the worst. Yes. And I think it all has to do with people feeling like the unexpected twists either didn't pay off in the way they were expecting, or they felt that they were out of this Star Wars.
But maybe that's what makes The Last Jedi better.
Well,
it doesn't give a damn about other Star Wars.
So what do you think? What's your overall impression?
And I think it's really funny because he was very. I would say both of us were very conflicted right afterwards.
I think initially, first of all, I do like the film. I have a lot of critiques with it. Initially coming out, I was kind of underwhelmed, but the more I sat on it, the more I thought about it. I grew on some stuff. I got bitter and angry about some other stuff. And I honestly will watch it a couple more times. I think it'll grow on me maybe more as I have another viewing or two.
Especially when you know what to expect.
Yeah, maybe. But then at the same time, I had a friend who already went through that, and his critique was like, it just kind of rehashed the same stuff that I had wrong with it initially. Yeah, so I was kind of underwhelmed, but then there's a lot of stuff I liked. And I think what The Last Jedi excels at is that the whole thing is misdirection. The trailer's misdirection. You're led to believe as an audience going in that you're going to explore certain things. You're going to explore Rey's parents. You're going to explore what happened with Luke. Where is Snoke from? How does he play in the whole Sith Master?
And even the Last Jedi, I just know the Jedi need to end. Like, even that was very much a misdirection in terms of that.
Absolutely. It's all misdirection. And I think one of the main critiques is kind of what you brought up already. It's just that certain things were explored in this universe that no one thought they would. And then, for me, like, you have build-up, like, with Rey's parents and who they are and how she plays a role in the Force. And, they kind of, the build-up is there, but then there's no payoff for that. It's kind of, that's the underwhelming part for me.
Before we get into any more details of that, we'll continue to go surface level. For me, I feel like I kind of came out of the movie going, I'm not sure, but I very quickly decided, overall, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
But the middle is not good.
Can you
felt a little long.
It drags on way too long.
Yeah.
And there's an entire plot that is very unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
And I disliked.
Yeah.
Casino Planet. What's your thoughts?
Casino Planet. So I will say, I think I felt very let down after watching it at first. I know me and you were talking about it on the ride home. And I kind of like you, the more I sat on it, like I realized they did new things and I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like one of my biggest problems with the movie is they had so many build-ups for the first one, Force Awakens. And then, like, all those build-ups, I felt like had really bad letdowns. And then,
wait,
like,
I'm a little unclear.
So like, for Rey's parents, Snoke, all these things.
For this
like,
one, yeah.
So all these things built up coming into this one, and then they gave, like, BS half-assed answers to all that. And then they arose, like, more of those build-ups.
I feel like the more we talk about this, I'm going to be more jaded.
Well,
and we'll get to that,
well, let me finish. So anyway, so that being said, I do like that they took a new approach to this. I think... Overall, this was kind of a slower Star Wars film.
We were talking about action sequences.
Yeah.
It's kind of limited, and you're right. It does feel like the pacing isn't as great as Force Awakens.
It's clearly a setup for the next one.
But then that's another critique I have is like, where do you go for this?
And I hate setup.
To be fair, that's also what a lot of the second of the trilogies.
No, that's true. That's true. But I mean, but then you have like a huge cliffhanger with Empire Strikes Back, and you don't really have that here.
And the Clone Wars leaves, I think, on a big peak, and there was a lot of action.
You kind of have the
argue with me. Where's
the rebellion or where's the resistance gonna go from here?
So
they're already in tatters, man.
And actually, that's one of the things I liked is I felt like, at least with Force Awakens, you kind of come away with the resistance won again, but it's like,
yeah,
well, they destroyed the main weapon, but at the same time,
but they didn't
their base was wiped out. Their base is still there. But their entire republic that they controlled is gone.
Mm-hmm. So that's true. That's true.
No so can I wind us back to the beginning of the movie? One, I thought the whole thing dragged out really long. I
actually love the opening sequence.
No, the opening sequence was awesome. But then
I like the idea that they have there's two things that they did with characters that kind of defeated normal character tropes or plots of
arcs.
Poe they
I love Poe.
They succeed in their mission to destroy the Dreadnought,
right?
But it's still a failure at the same time.
Well, because they lose so much.
Exactly. So it's he has to realize that yes, we succeeded in our mission to destroy this, but in the end, it wasn't worth it.
Was too
and then
costly.
on the flip side, the plot that I hate we can go into it more in detail in a little bit. With Finn and going to the casino planet.
Yeah. No, I think
they change the thing with that is you go with these main characters and they actually fail a mission. Straight up failed it.
Yeah, which is kind of new.
As opposed to just they always win because they're one of the main characters.
Right.
Which I'm fine with that idea. I just don't like how they did it.
So here's my thing. I think I love the opening sequence, and here's where my first complaint arises. You have one ship here and one ship here. They can't hit them because they're just out of range. Why can't this big ship just kick it in fourth gear?
Yeah, that ship is almost out of fuel. Maybe you can explain to us.
Well, they even though I hate this part of the plot, I feel like it's clearly explained it and said that because these ones were smaller, even at lower fuel, it could go faster than the big ships.
Yeah,
these ones are built for speed. These ones are built for firepower.
I'm just saying, tell me in any other Star Wars film, because we're basing this off Star Wars universe, where that would have been a fucking
This isn't a Star Wars film, man.
It is.
No, I'm just kidding.
But there's never been that scenario before. They've always been able to run away with light speed, and then these guys don't know where they're going. So there's never been this scenario. It's either a fight or running away. There's never been this, our running away didn't work, and now they're still chasing us.
Yeah, and
quick anecdote on that is it's interesting development in this one, how they now have the ability to track ships through hyperspeed.
Yeah.
And this I read actually today was cool too. This was actually a plot point that was brought up in Rogue One with Jyn Erso when they were trying to find the file in the thing.
Oh, and that's how
she mentioned it, navigational tracking, hyperspeed tracking.
Huh.
It was very subtle in some.
I assume
Twitter
that's probably how they
up.
found the Tantive 4 in some way.
Yeah,
I never thought about that.
Maybe
that's Leia's ship, in case you didn't know.
So here's also my thing. So I feel like at the end of Force Awakens, you have all of them on this giant planet that's a Death Star, and it gets blown up. And I feel like the rebellion is, like, pretty hot and heavy, and then this is literally, like, what seems hours later, and there's, like, no rebels left, and somehow they still have a buttload of... The First Order still has, like, a buttload of people, even though, like, their plan with all their people just got blown up.
Makes sense to me.
How?
There's more than one planet.
The Republic's dead, too.
The entire thing with... And again...
That was mainly a weapon.
The one thing I still don't know the full way that, like... that 30 years between 6 and 7 kind of works, how the First Order really comes to power. I probably should have looked something about that up. But my understanding is, yes, the Resistance defeated the Emperor, but that's like... This is not the best example because it kind of... Simply just killing Hitler doesn't end World War II.
It's almost like that ideology
somebody else
that they
just
had
comes
would have picked it up.
And
well, that's exactly
in this case,
what happened.
we won the rest of the war. But like, let's say it was only like...
Because the First Order is different than the Empire, though.
It's basically the same thing.
But it's built off the ruins of the Empire.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, because I thought, and this is just...
It's the same firepower and stuff. That's why
they're like the Resistance is the rebellion.
They're still basically in control in a lot of ways.
They blew up the second Death Star, it kind of hints that the rebellion brings back, like, the Republic and starts taking control. So then how...
It doesn't hint. That clearly is... That's what they blow up with Starkiller.
So First Order just...
Starkiller took out the Republic,
right. I forgot about that. No.
So that's what I'm saying. The governing head of the universe or whatever is technically under Resistance control, but the military strength is still by the First Order.
I totally forgot.
And so that's why there's like this clash still
of
like... legally or whatever, these guys can't do anything because they're not in power, but everyone knows that they have all the military power. So, yes, right. their main weapon was destroyed, but they still have troops everywhere else that they just kind of gather together. So, how was the rebellion, or not the Resistance, so small in this movie? Because I felt like last movie, like, they weren't huge, but they weren't down to, like, 3 ships. Because they all got destroyed trying to destroy Starkiller.
Is that what? Okay.
Yeah, and then
they were either destroyed by Starkiller or during that
killing the Dreadnought too in the beginning. I mean,
they also.
The movie starts out with them losing a mass number of their fleet, and that's why Leia's like, "What are you doing? Like, you may have done your mission, but you lost way more than you gained." It did seem like
one of those things where if Leia cared that much about all of those people dying, maybe she should have flown away earlier once it was clear that they were going to die anyway. The only person who makes it out of that is Poe.
Yeah, essentially.
She could, and it just felt weird to be like, she's saying, "Oh, we need to leave. We're losing people," and then she still stays there. Granted, they still would have been tracked anyway, but
he was defying orders too.
I will say, moving a little bit further, I really, you can argue against me. I really hated the corniness of Leia being out in space and like using the Force to like.
I actually think, in my opinion,
like Mary Poppins,
it would have been a way where I would have not been upset with her character going out in that explosion and just being dead out there. Like that last shot, you could have cut to like Luke feeling it or something and just been sad, because that would work around Carrie Fisher's death. That would, I still think, be like she's almost. Like, yeah, it's upsetting as a fan to, like, see Leia die, but now the thing is, she's still alive at the end of this movie, so how do you work around that now?
See, and I was talking to a friend about this, and I was like, you obviously...
Or if you have her sacrificing herself.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because, like, then you have Luke, who's already sacrificed, his story's wrapped, but then you obviously know Leia's not going to be in the next one. They've already announced, they're not going to do any CGI.
So they'll come up with some flimsy
But then that bugged me. A buddy and I were talking about it too. Is like, well, they could have used Leia in that role at the end with her going to light speed and being sacrificial herself. That ends the Skywalker storyline. I can see the argument
why they wouldn't is there's like the pros and cons. Is like the pro of Leia doing it is she is older and has like less life to live. Holdo is clearly younger and could grow into that like general role and take over. But it's the same thing. If you have like this name recognition, like,
which apparently didn't even matter because
apparently not.
No one comes to her aid. Anyway.
It would be like if I said, "Hey man, you want to join General Holdo's like Resistance or Princess Leia's? Like, who are you gonna join?"
Han Solo's.
There we go. Yeah.
But so yeah, and so I felt like Because I will say, I was like, the whole movie...
I just liked her using the Force in that capacity, just because it's never been something she's done.
And it's been something really, I think, any Jedi's done like that. Like, I feel like Jedi
Why couldn't someone do that?
But that's the thing with this movie. A lot of stuff with the Force,
I had no
literally
problem
seeing being portrayed on.
I had no
on
problem
the
with
the
use of the Force itself. I just disliked that it was Princess Leia doing it in that capacity.
Oh, you don't want.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that Princess Leia.
You don't want a woman to be able to use the Force, bro?
That's what I'm saying. Even though Rey is badass.
I know, right?
So I think that, and I feel like the whole movie. I don't know about you guys, but like knowing Carrie Fisher died, I was like, okay, this is where Leia dies.
But
this is where like they set it up like 3 or 4 times.
It's all misdirection.
Yeah,
that's how the trailer is at the beginning. You can even argue that when she's blown up there, that this is how it's going to be instead. Mm-hmm. It wasn't by Kylo Ren, but it's still a direct result of that.
Yeah.
And another unmentioned named that died. He kind of died off screen. It was Admiral Akbar.
I know.
No last words, but he was on.
It was
one
of those.
They just say Akbar's gone.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I think people. At least I was I thought he was in Force Awakens, but I was never.
He was.
I never myself got like confirmation of that was for sure Akbar until this one where it was like Admiral Akbar and Princess. It's okay, so that was him.
Yeah. So I mean, they really are. I mean, I see what they're doing, trying to wipe out I think a bunch of the old people and definitely bring this new stuff. But I don't know, like. We're left with a weird situation. I don't really know how I feel about Luke, how things went with him. And then now it's like with Leia, so it's like, all right, we lose Han in Force Awakens, now we lose Luke, but then it's like, so Leia's our last one, and that Carrie Fisher's not alive, so how do you spin that? And at this point, I guess you could always say Luke can come back as a ghost and train Rey.
I feel like it would be a waste of Mark Hamill still being around to not have him come back as a Force ghost at this point.
Yeah.
Especially since I was pleasantly surprised to see Yoda.
It makes you wonder though, because like even when he's in that final face down with Kylo Ren, he says, "See you around, kid." Like that was an iconic line. I thought that was a good moment too.
Speaking of iconic lines that was not used in this, unless I missed it, we never had the "I've got a bad feeling about this" in this movie. It's been in every single other Star Wars. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think we had that.
It's probably not in every single one, but it's in the majority of them. I don't want to state something that I don't know is fact for sure.
Yeah, everybody's gonna start yelling at you.
No.
Because it's for sure in Force Awakens and Rogue One, and I'm pretty sure.
Obi-Wan Kenobi says it, and
it's said in.
I think it's some version of it's used a lot.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But this one for sure did not have it.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think about some of their choices with characters, like introducing DJ? He's kind of in and out, and then you have the Asian character.
I thought Rose was a good addition.
Which one's Rose? She
the Asian one.
Okay.
But again, I felt like that whole storyline was really dumb. Like, the only way we can, for one, if Holdo just tells Poe what her plan is, they never go off and try to do that.
Yeah.
Which then ends up resulting in the deaths of all these people on the transport because they try to get into the thing and get captured and DJ turns on them.
Right.
If none of that happens, then they all survive.
True. We don't know what capacity he's going to be in.
I thought his character was kind of dumb. Like, well, I think that whole casino thing is kind of...
Yes.
Yeah.
That
was a big critique.
I kind of liked the idea of showing people getting rich off the spoils of war and that they're selling to both sides. But
that's kind of how it is in
then when it turns into like, we're riding these weird like cat like horse things through the casino. Then it was like, am I watching a Star Wars movie or am I watching some like
Raging Bull?
Yeah, some weird like 80s movie.
Yeah. Little side note. You know the little guy that's putting coins into BB-8? Apparently that was Mark Hamill. He wanted to play a CGI character, so he was like a little goblin putting coins. But I read it on IMDb. But I feel like that was the only point of the casino thing. But I feel like that's part of the thing. It's dragged out so long. It's put together. I don't feel very well.
That part in tandem with the drawn out chase scene, which I still think does have some kind of cool there's a eat the ships, like that one runs out of thing and you just see it just like get decimated as it enters. There's some cool visuals there, but it did feel dragged out. We have the pointless casino thing. Maybe not pointless if you want to argue.
It could have been cut back.
That it gives Finn and then in tandem Rose some character development.
I hate the love triangle. Can I just throw that out there?
I don't think there's a love triangle. I think it's just them.
I feel like Finn's
You don't think
character...
Rey and Finn have a thing?
Not at all.
Mm.
I feel like Finn's character in this one was a lot more diminished compared to The Force Awakens.
I feel like he doesn't have a lot to do when he's not a Jedi.
I guess so, but I mean, I don't know. I didn't like that development as much. And then another thing I thought they would kind of build on was Captain Phasma. She was kind of another throwaway.
Well, and so
dude, yeah.
Basically, it was like Rian Johnson kind of like decided, I don't really care about Snoke or Phasma, just get rid of them.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I feel like Phasma was one of those, they had Gwendolyn Christie playing her, and it seemed like she could have been cool, but both movies that she was in, she just felt like a throwaway.
Yeah. I feel like what they did is...
I was just expecting a build-up and more.
Here's what they did, and I feel like one movie that did it, I guess, better would be when you have General Grievous. Because Grievous was like this like built-up character, and then you throw him in and you kill him in the same movie, but I feel like how they developed his character...
I feel like he wasn't developed at all in the movie.
He wasn't developed.
I like the concept, I think, was there, but, I mean... He's the throwaway character because it wasn't developed. That's where I can argue with Snoke. I can argue with Captain Phasma. That's kind of how I feel.
Even really Dooku, honestly.
Oh yeah, Dooku's on there. There's
Dooku makes it past one movie. Though.
Darth Maul's on there. Like Darth Maul is
10 minutes into the third one he dies.
Yeah, no, and Darth Maul. But I do feel like I don't know because I know the 1, 2, and 3 had more throwaway characters. I feel like they were just more. I don't know. For me, I liked even though they were throwaway characters, I think you still kind of got attached to them in some kind of way because they're cool. To where like Phasma, I don't feel like you really cared about at all. Like, so when you look at like Darth Maul compared to her, who are you going to talk about more?
Darth Maul,
obviously Darth
exactly.
Maul. But that's also not a fair comparison.
But no, even if you go Grievous and her, you're going to talk about Grievous more because Grievous was kind of cool. It was the first like wielding 4 lightsabers. Like you saw him do like a cool battle kind of thing.
Yeah.
You don't really like in the first one. She was this big build up, and you're like, okay, I saw her like twice.
And then they threaten her, and she gives away the codes.
Yeah, and then in this one, she's just like still. Yeah, and then in this one, it's like you're supposed to expect that she's this badass warrior chick, but like you
haven't seen.
And I mean, she is beating Finn in the battle.
Yeah, but it's.
And then like she gets shot with a blaster, and then you find out her armor is like apparently just completely bulletproof, which I was kind of like.
How do you guys feel about Kylo as a villain? Because I'd argue that's beyond the original Star Wars that George Lucas developed with Darth Vader as the main villain. There hasn't been a great Star Wars villain. You have Count Dooku, Grievous, Darth Maul, Snoke, Phasma, like all these ones, the Emperor, Sidious, like they're all kind of killed off pretty quickly.
Except for the Emperor.
But even the Emperor,
he's not the main. He's
only mentioned in passing until the 6th one.
Yeah. And you don't really get a lot of on-screen time with him until the 6th one.
Well, you get
I still think that the Emperor is good.
No, I get that. I'm talking about like as a whole screen time.
Yeah. No.
No one's up there.
No one lives up to Darth Vader.
Obviously, but so how do you guys feel about Kylo Ren?
And and I think this is what's so weird.
And go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say what I feel so weird about like this storyline is look at the original 3 and then the new 3 and then now. The bad guys in the Jedi were more like it feels like they skill wise get more developed, But if you look at Kylo and Rey,
I think that's technology too.
Well, no. But I'm saying like if you look at Kylo and Rey, like their skill wise isn't actually developing more. Like you look at like
really? You don't think they're developed?
Well, okay. So look at what I'm saying is like kind of look at Obi-Wan training Anakin. Mm-hmm. Like every movie, Anakin you see is getting older and he's progressing more and getting stronger. Right. You see the same with Luke.
He has a teacher though.
Exactly.
Rey hasn't had a teacher. No, we don't even know the fuck about Snoke because he's dead already.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So now we're going to the 3rd movie, which is supposed to be the final of this trilogy, and it's like they've had no training. Like so they're both kind of just wild cards at this point. Like Rey hardly like you see her like dicking around with the lightsaber. She doesn't know what the fuck she's doing.
Yeah, but you already know her power is
it's strong,
unparalleled.
But it's like but she has no like she needs and that's why I thought it was weird that they killed.
You're not finishing a single sentence.
I know.
You're running on.
I'm all over the place.
Are you trying to think about this as you go?
Yeah, I am. But
okay, he's pulling the Michael Scott.
I have a closing to it because it throws you off because when you see Yoda's ghost, he says we need we failed Kylo, we need Rey. Like, and so you're like, okay, and then you hear him say, like, I'll see you around, and you're like, okay, Luke's training her. She's finally getting trained, but then Luke dies. So it's like, Now, going into the next movie,
how's that different than Luke leaving in 5 and Yoda dying?
Yeah,
but
or
he already
in 1
had
and Kenobi dying.
He already had training.
To a degree, though. He wasn't. You're
not
not a
really.
Jedi yet. You're not a
Obi-Wan,
Jedi yet.
The only training we see Obi-Wan give him is on the Falcon on the way to Alderaan with the
I guess from there
and
you
even
gotta
Yoda,
assume the ghost.
he's just levitating rocks. Bro.
Yeah, but you gotta assume because there's like that's my thing. There's big time gaps between them. The
way I read it is
saying,
that he's never seen Obi-Wan's Force Ghost until that he appears to him on Hoth. Because to me, he seems like surprised that he's there.
It almost felt like he was hallucinating.
He sees him a couple times though. Doesn't he see Obi-Wan's ghost a couple times? Because I think
he sees him on Hoth.
He sees all three though. He sees Anakin.
Yeah, but
Kenobi,
doesn't
and
he
Yoda
see
at the
when
end
he
of
meets
Return.
Yoda? Doesn't he appear with Yoda?
Yeah, but that's after Hoth.
Yeah. So no, I'm saying just through the thing he sees the ghost multiple times. So at this point, do you think we will see a Luke ghost to like train her? Or do you think they're kind of pulling away from like the ghost being?
I think
there?
I don't know.
I think he's coming back.
Yeah.
I don't know if he will.
Because I feel like it'd be a waste of Mark Hamill.
It might be, but then.
Well, and we saw a ghost like a Yoda ghost again. So do you think like that we could see another? Or I know Ewan McGregor said that he wants to like be part of it. So do you think they'll start bringing some of those back as ghosts just to like characters to help train or anything?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think that we'll even see Yoda and her interact. Because, again, it's the same reason...
Yeah.
Granted, part of it was because Qui-Gon Jinn didn't exist. But the reason we don't see Qui-Gon and ever appear as a Force Ghost to Luke is because there's no connection there.
No, he would have.
There's no connection between Yoda and Rey.
Yeah.
There's no connection between Obi-Wan and Rey.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, the fact that Alec Guinness, is that his name?
Old Obi-Wan? Yeah.
Is dead, and since we've already shown him as a Force Ghost, it wouldn't make sense to suddenly show Ewan McGregor, even though I like Ewan McGregor.
I think they just have to make
I just
him
don't know
look
what they're
older.
going to do. So it was interesting that as a Force Ghost, Yoda was able to, like, burn the
So it still
freaking temple
shows
down.
that as ghosts they have power then.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, because that was like, he was like pulling like lightning from the sky.
No, I know.
It
But
was
isn't...
like thorax.
How do you guys feel about that, though?
I mean, so they do say when they become ghosts, it's because they're literally becoming...
They're one with the Force. No,
they're
I get
becoming the part
no,
of
I
the Force.
get
So
that.
it
But
makes sense.
But now you're impacting everything in the physical realm still.
I mean, it does say they'll be stronger than ever.
I guess.
So I think this is the first time we're really shown that. Absolutely. And I don't know, because I guess the debate could be if they're so strong, why don't they go and fight? But maybe since they are at they're at a different level to where they're kind of past that kind of stuff.
I'm sure it's probably something like because they're one with the Force, they can't influence stuff in that major capacity or something.
I don't know. I thought it was cool.
Definitely a midi-chlorian imbalance somewhere there.
I mean, I really liked it, though. I thought it was kind of cool seeing a little bit more of, like... Because I feel like the Force Ghost is something people talk about, like, oh, it's the strongest Jedi, like, it's the strongest Jedi you can reach in Jedi, but we don't really see anything. So at this point, we do kind of see, like, Yoda's power as
right. You guys never... Did you guys answer how you guys feel about Kylo as a villain?
No, we did not.
I thought it was a very interesting part in the story when, after he killed Snoke, he's like, let's just burn this all down and we can rule the galaxy together, to Rey. I felt like that was very interesting, because the main interesting thing with Kylo is he's bouncing back between, the dark side with Snoke, and then, appealing to Han in Force Awakens. And in this one, he's kind of doing that same thing, but he's doing it with Rey again. Because at the end of Force Awakens, he's even offering to teach Rey. And then the second, he gets the whole mind connection in this one with Rey, too.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
That was a bit trippy. But then they both are able to defeat Snoke, kill the guards, and...
so I think...
he's constantly kind of going back and forth.
So I think with Kylo to me is Darth Vader, like Anakin, if Anakin wouldn't have chosen the good side.
Kylo hasn't chosen the good side either. I'm saying he's riding a fine line, it seems.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I feel like he has the same debate you kind of see between Darth Vader, but in the end, Darth Vader kills the Emperor.
Initially, yeah.
Yeah, kills the Emperor and chooses his son to where he killed Snoke and was like, I'm taking Snoke. So it's like, how the Emperor...
He only chose that after Rey said no.
Absolutely. But I do feel like that's kind of, where they got it, because there was, even at the point where the Emperor was telling Luke, kill me and become the strongest ever, and I feel like that's kind of what we're seeing here. He killed him, Rey kind of said, no, I don't want this, and now he's, becoming, the new Emperor, and I feel like he's very power hungry, and we already see he has anger issues, And he's kind of...
That's never changed.
Yeah, exactly. And you see, he doesn't actually, like, think things out very much. And you see, like, what's the kind of commander's name of the... Hux. Yeah, he's kind of trying to get through to Kylo, and Kylo keeps just throwing around like a rag.
There's no reasoning.
Yeah, and so and I think that's going to be interesting going forward, because you have this... And I think, ultimately, that's going to lead to the downfall of the First Order, because you have this rogue guy that just... full of raging and just does whatever the fuck he wants without looking at consequences or anything, you know? And I think, like, that's the person you have now leading compared to, like, the Emperor. I can't really speak for Snoke because we don't know him, but the Emperor was very behind the scenes, everything's thought out.
Oh, he's like
and
puppets,
intricate.
like
exactly.
He's got strings going.
And so I feel like Kylo's gonna be the exact opposite of that. He's just, I mean, I could see more planets we like getting blown up and people dying because he's kind of that like crazy, random. You never know what the hell he's gonna do.
Look at him at the end. He's literally like the whole fleet. Just take this one target out.
Exactly.
Take Luke out. All we got. Like, that doesn't make rational sense either.
Yeah, and he's just, like, fueled with anger.
Like, if he totally ignored Luke and just went on, the Resistance would have died right there.
Absolutely. So, and so I think, like, that's the kind of stuff you're going to see from him is a lot of, like, kind of like Poe in the beginning, where it's like, I'm going to go all out to get this one thing, and we lose tons of men, and I think...
Well, it's just having blinders on.
Exactly, and that's exactly how he is, because there's no reason.
With his decision behind trying to destroy Luke in that capacity... I think that's part of the revenge that he feels from his hurt. Because I think that was actually one of the cooler reveals. Again, a lot of this is this idea of, wow, I didn't expect that. Of Luke,
like Luke started
being ready to kill,
like he started
Ben Solo. Mm-hmm. And yes, he decides not to, but it's one of those things that
You're
at
caught.
that point he's been caught, and he doesn't have a chance to explain. And even if he did explain enough, I was going to kill you, but I decided not to. Like,
well, and I think something we have to...
So if Luke just let it all go.
Just let it go. If he would have watched Frozen. But,
everything would have been fine.
It's another thing is the Knights of Ren.
That's another thing that wasn't brought up.
We didn't see the Knights of Ren, so maybe... I don't know what that means in the next one. Maybe we're going to have way more action, because you have the Knights of Ren and Rey taking them on. I don't know.
I mean, this is all theories here.
Absolutely. And, I mean, the rebellion technically needs more people. And an army.
And we don't know how they're going to get them.
Exactly. Like,
they barely survived again.
It gives, like, hope, like, this is the beginning, this is the start. But it's kind of like, for the next movie, are we going to waste an hour of them trying to do that with, like, this kind of boring plot line? Or is it going to be like every
as long as the Gungans don't come back.
Oh, my gosh.
Or is it going to be like, right? Or is it going to be like every other Star Wars?
I would choose Ewoks over Gungans.
Like, do you think it'll be like every other Star Wars and it's like 5 years later and things are more developed?
One thing I think that's interesting, too, to note about this one. So, you have Force Awakens, that's Abrams' film. Last Jedi, Rian Johnson. He will also be the one developing the future trilogy. But then, for Episode 9, we're going to have Abrams again to tie it all together. So, I find it interesting just because The Last Jedi is an entirely different tone than The Force Awakens.
I mean, Abrams was still a producer on this one.
Right. But I wonder, because it feels like Johnson kind of said, to hell with all the stuff you're doing with Force Awakens, I'm going to do this. And then I'm still kind of unclear where they're going to go. I mean, obviously, you have the Knights of Ren.
But more things need to be answered better.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering how it's all going to tie together.
Again, I feel like it is okay to question who is Snoke or what was his... What was the point of him?
How long do you
But I feel like we can't question a lot of these or demand answers without the ending of the trilogy. If the trilogy was done and we were still going, well, why is this that or whatever?
Yeah,
then we could. But right now it's like, yes, I understand we want to know more about this, but like, there's still more to the series.
It is, absolutely. We can't judge it as a trilogy until it's done.
And in terms of stuff that we did seemingly get answered, Rey's parents, personally, I'm fine with it.
I don't mind it.
I think it makes a lot more sense than trying to claim that Obi-Wan had a kid or whatever.
Luke,
or even Luke.
And the idea of,
it's getting away from Skywalker family.
Well, yeah, and again, like, for one, we see the orphan later on at the end.
I love that, actually.
The Force.
Yeah. To
be like, hey, the Force is still out there. It's not just the Skywalkers. But also, like, the idea of, the parallel of kind of, at least in this case, Rey does have two parents, but, like, the Skywalker family wasn't anything before Anakin Skywalker, a nobody, was discovered.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't mind it being that way. I think at this point though, it's also Kylo saying it, so I think we have to take that for a grain of salt, and I do hope that in the next one we find at least a little bit more out about her past or something, you know. And I'm totally
we could, but
okay.
I don't even know if they're gonna touch that.
Yeah, just leave it at where it is. Yeah. So no, and I like it because I think it does pull away from the Skywalker family. I mean,
well, it's already you don't have to be a Skywalker or a Sith to be able to use the Force, and I think that's what's cool.
Well, and I think it's because like the Force is so strong. Like in the Awakens, you see the lightsaber like talking to her, so it shows that the Force is working through other people's lives.
Maz Kanata, or how she even came in possession of Luke's lightsaber.
A story for another time.
Yeah, well, we don't know, so yeah.
I thought it was a little weird that they even bothered to bring her sort of back into this.
So brief, too. Like,
we need your help. No, I can't help you, but you should find a code cracker.
Right. Who ends up being, like, that was DJ, right? Or
I think it was supposed to be another guy.
But then DJ kind of... Oh, no, that's right. It was supposed to be somebody else, but then DJ was like, you need a code cracker?
I'll be honest, in the moment, I too was going... Wait, was that the same guy? Because I didn't pay enough attention, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be the dude with the lapel.
He heard them like talking about it, and he's like, "You need a code cracker," and they're like, "No, we're good."
But it wouldn't have been unlike a movie to have it be where like he's like snuck down because he noticed they were noticing him or whatever.
Yeah, so I was expecting halfway through, been like, oh, the person I was looking for was like had the red lapel of a flower, and he could have been like, oh, that was mine, I lost in a bet. I was expecting something like that, so it really was the guy they're looking for. But, they didn't go that way. And like you guys said earlier, I have no idea if his character comes back. I mean, did his character technically die?
No. He just went off after he collected his bounty, essentially.
Okay. I never saw him, like, fly off.
No, he kind of just left.
Okay, because I know that ship pretty much gets destroyed shortly.
Yeah, it's all unclear, though.
The best shot in the entire movie is the shot of Holdo going into light speed and
it fractures
and just the complete silence and like the light fracturing through. Like it was great.
And then I love the lightsabers breaking at the same time. Because right when they happen, it's like they're going in the lightsaber break. So I just thought like
was that at the same
time?
It
was before that.
I don't think those were at the same time, dude.
I thought it was like they were fighting, and right as it was breaking, it showed her like fly the thing in. So it was
maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was all part of the one like same kind of scene.
But I really didn't care about that part. I mean, it's still upsetting, but at the same time,
no, I'm just saying it's upsetting. I'm just saying it was cool, like cinematography.
But I'm just saying I'm not thinking even of the lightsaber part as a part of the shot. Like it was funny though, because there is no real sound during that. Like we're sitting there in the theater and it's all going on, and we hear this guy go, "Oh shit!"
Oh man, yeah, no,
it was
cool.
Very cool shot.
I will say though, like cinematography wise and stuff, I feel like this movie by far was the best. Like the things that they did, I feel was really
the shot,
cool.
the kind of callback with the two suns setting with Luke sitting there. And one of the complaints I think it was my sister had was, or maybe it was my brother, it was he kind of collapsed after finishing his force projection, and then it was like, it probably would have made more sense for him to just kind of disappear there, because it did feel a little bit like oh no, just kidding, I'm okay, I'm at peace, sit up, get the cool shot, now I'm gone. Like I'm fine with it either way. I can understand, yes, I think it probably would have made more sense for him to collapse and disappear right away. But
that was alright with it.
Yeah.
I think another question that a lot of people have had is, well, why couldn't, if he was going to die anyway, why couldn't he just be there in person? And I think the answer is because there was no way for him to get there in person. They had already left before he decided to do this.
He had his X-Wing.
Yeah, the X-Wing that's probably been crashed for 10 years or however long he's been there.
You know how much damage?
I mean, we don't know. I did kind of expect at some point that
for him to raise the X-Wing like he did in Dagobah. That would have been something.
I was just expecting to see him flying. Like I kind of thought he was going to be the one to come and help them when they were like chasing down the. The ships are going there asking for help. I kind of thought it was going to be him and Rey.
Did either of you guys figure out it was a force projection before it was revealed?
Yes, because you could tell his facial hair was a different color.
Oh, see, no, I didn't get that, but I did notice that afterward. No, it is. I read about it too. Is like he's meant to appear a little younger when he actually is projecting.
From when he had the Force or whatever. Because to me, the lightsaber was the thing I was going like, why is it that lightsaber?
Right.
Even if he created a new one, why would he choose to create that exact one?
Right.
He's made the green one was a different one.
Well, either for my sister or brother. I don't remember which one. I think it was my sister. Crystal? It was the fact I didn't even notice this. I'll be honest, like that he wasn't leaving footprints.
No, I didn't.
Oh, really? I see. That's something I have to watch again.
Yeah, I saw the facial hair, and then I saw the lightsaber.
Yeah, it's a little more trimmed. It's cleaner.
It's cleaner. It's a dark. It's like a dark brown.
Yeah, and he's all gray.
But you're saying it made sense. Did you figure it out? Again, like not to say before the immediate reveal, but like before they were fighting.
Yeah, I figured it out when
See, I don't. How did you figure it out?
Just like I said, because it didn't look. He was wearing something different. Like I didn't think it was him. Like I thought it was.
I just started questioning it after he was like, after all those.
Yeah, no, I got it before that because I knew, and then I also knew like Luke wouldn't just stand there and let them like shoot at him like that.
Yeah,
so
like the whole idea was that he's the distraction.
Yeah, but I didn't think he was just gonna die like that. I thought something, and it was weird the fact that they said but I think there was no way in other than that, and he came in from a weird fucking corner.
Well, but then there was a way out.
Yeah, but he didn't come from that way.
Well, we don't know.
We don't know which way that they came.
Well, afterwards you do, but I mean, he came from like the opening was here, and he came from a spot like over here.
Yeah, we don't know which way they walked through. Yeah. Is what we're saying.
Okay, well then I didn't know that then. So
I feel like I feel like this is coming from me, and this is me putting my thoughts onto your thoughts, which obviously I don't know. But from my perspective, it seems impossible that you could have guessed it that early on when this is something we've never seen before. And to me, I feel like it's more likely you're going, oh, this is how it was. These are things I noticed, and thinking back, and then ascribing it to that.
So was it ruined for you then?
Well, so here's the thing. I even turned to Travis, and I was like, his facial hair is different, and that's not. And Travis was like, and that's not his lightsaber. And then we're both like, something's different.
Well, lightsaber was destroyed.
Huh?
Wasn't it?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, it was just destroyed. So when he turned it on, like Travis was like, and that's a different lightsaber. And so both of us were like, something is weird here. Yeah. So I can't say that
you didn't know he was force projecting.
Okay, no, I'm not saying I didn't know he was force projecting, but I knew something was up. Well, I guess is a better way to put it. Like something was.
He's obviously there for a reason.
Well, so then in that case, we all figured that. Yeah, I mean, just the way you made it sound.
You made it sound like.
No. My question was, did you figure out it was a force projection?
No. I wasn't meaning force. I figured out that something was different.
Well, yes, of course, but like we had no idea what it was, especially after he survived that first.
So what I was saying is I just noticed earlier that something was different.
And I think that even surviving the onslaught is not good enough proof because we've seen this great show thing, and he could have come up with some way.
I mean, we see Kylo hold like a blaster bullet in the last one, so you can only imagine Luke's so much stronger that maybe he could do like.
Well, he's so strong that who knows how far those two planets are away, and he's projecting himself over there.
Oh gosh, how many light years is that? Or parsecs? I don't know. Crazy.
So yeah, I mean. So, yeah, I didn't think that, like I said, it was definitely, like, the beard, the different clothing, and then when I saw, like, we saw the blue lights.
It's just very subtle stuff, though. Yeah. That's so subtle.
To me, neither the beard nor the clothing was a tell, because why can't you just change that on the way over?
Yeah, it's not indicative of, like, oh.
It just didn't seem, I mean, I guess for me, it's because Luke had been in the last time we saw Luke in the black stuff was Return of the Jedi, so he had
So why couldn't he be going back to that?
Well, I don't know, it just seemed weird to me that...
Ooh, I know how they're going to do episode 9. He's going to force project in the past, or in the future, and, like, just F everything up. Or... he's going to force project into the past as himself right before he's about to strike Kylo Ren and walks in there and he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. We're going to just save everything. We're all going to be good. All my Padawans are going to be fine.
Another part, this is kind of a minor thing, but it seemed like I disliked a little bit the way that the direction they took it is I think it completed the character arc in this movie for Poe. Is when they have, like, the battering ram cannon or whatever it was called. And he backs off. And he says, like, no, we gotta go off. And Finn decides to, like, charge it. It felt weird to... I legitimately would have rather had it go off and kill Finn than what they did, because it felt so weird to, like, not... She comes in and crashes into him, which is way more dangerous than him, like, trying to shoot at it or just... I don't know. It just felt like one of those... Plus, she never would have been able to catch up to him and then get this direction.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would have rather him actually get at least shot, even if he doesn't die, but, like, his attempt fail for a reason of the thing shooting as opposed to her stopping him or whatever.
So I just remember too, I guess talking about Rey's training, she did steal all the texts.
Yes, those are seen on the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, later. So I mean, but even Yoda himself says those aren't going to teach her. No
page turners in those.
Yeah, so it's kind of like which is kind of weird because it's kind of like that showing like
Yoda grew such a sense of humor over like time.
So so I will say
he's been alone as a Force ghost.
I guess.
So I feel like that's one thing I really liked about this movie is the more comical tone. I mean,
there was a lot more.
You think of all the emphasis on the last movie and coming into this movie of her handing Luke the lightsaber, and it's like, what's gonna happen? And really, he just grabs it and throws it, and you're just like, it's like all that build up, and he just throws it, and it's like, what the fuck?
Which actually sets the tone for the whole film.
Absolutely.
It's like, oh, you guys were caring about this? See ya, peace.
So I thought it was cool. I mean, so I don't know. I thought this film did a lot of cool new things. I like the new tone. Obviously, there were some things I felt were dragged on and really unnecessary, and things I don't think not getting the answer I wanted, that doesn't matter. It's more like the throwaway characters, just like such a build up and really not knowing anymore. Like with Snoke, it's just like I really like someone this powerful. It was like, so where did he come from?
It is a hell of a twist, though.
Yeah, no,
I mean, when we saw that, I was like, what the hell is going on?
Absolutely,
because you kind of think that he's gonna figure out right before it happens.
Yeah, I did.
Or something.
Absolutely.
Well, and going in terms of like, this movie is gonna do things you're not gonna expect. I knew that going in, and then you have stuff like that. I half expected at the end I like thought that the end shot would be when there's like the flames in the door and Luke is walking out. I half expected like the end shot to be him like pull out a lightsaber and it'd be a red lightsaber and then a cut and you'd be like, what?
Oh man.
But like obviously that didn't happen. But like it was one like that's the cool thing about the movie is that it like
you really didn't know.
There were these like crazy things like that where like I could legitimately see that.
You could see it happening either way, yeah.
Well, and I feel like you look at Force Awakens, you're like straight from the beginning, you're like, all right, I know how this is gonna end, you know, because it follows the same formula. And I really don't think you could do that in this movie. Like, and I think they did.
Well, that's what's
really well.
That's what's interesting too, and that's just audiences in general. You know, the main critique of Force Awakens was like, oh, it's too similar to this. You guys didn't turn.
And now the main critique here is too different.
Too different. Too new.
And I don't think the too new stuff is my problem at all. I
think it's interesting in how they build on the universe with the Force. Like the fact that you can Force project, you can have like a huge gap in space and time and still have mind melds. And
want to know what I really loved with Snoke is how he was describing why the Force is stronger. I just thought it was kind of a really cool moment because like we've had like Sith and Jedi and stuff before, but how he was telling how he talked to Kylo and he's like, I told you with you growing so strong, there's always gonna be a counter, and he said that's
just the balance in the Force.
Exactly, and so I really liked how that was described because I feel like the dark side has never looked at it that way. And so Snoke was very much aware of it, and he was like, I told you, and this is your counter right here, and you guys I connected you because I know you guys are pretty much going to be the downfall of each other because you equalize each other out. So
it's almost like he wanted Kylo to kill Rey just so she limits him in a degree. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And so I just thought it was a really cool... I think it was a very basic explanation, but I thought it was cool that it was thrown in there. Like I don't think like without it, it's not like, we can't figure it out. But I just thought it was kind of... And how he actually worded it and stuff, I thought it was really cool. It was a cool moment. And I think like that's why it kind of sucks that Snoke was a throwaway character because I thought he actually added in.
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that would argue he's not a throwaway character, but that's kind of how I felt because of how he was built up, and especially like seeing his capabilities even more up close.
And that's
this time, I'm like, you guys could have done so much.
See, and that's
he's stronger than.
Even if they would have killed him like they killed him, I still kind of want to know like how did he get that? Like how is he this strong? Like I feel like just. The curiosity in me wants to know, like, where the hell... Because every other Sith, we kind of know where they came from or who they were trained
except for
by.
Darth Maul.
Yeah, well, Darth Maul, the Emperor was training him.
So, name something else other than that.
No, but I'm saying, like, like, who is training him, kind of, who is this, like, you don't know.
Well, I mean, as an audience, we don't know this. I mean, Kylo knows. He knows more about Snoke and all that. So, I mean, it'll be, I almost want to say that has to be addressed in some way in the next one.
What if it does turn out that was the Emperor?
No. See, then I feel like you're reaching and copping out. That doesn't...
Yeah. Well, people were saying it was
well, that was just
Plagueis.
That was just theories.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
it does. But I mean,
but then I still just like dying like that's kind of like what
ironic. He could save others from death, but not himself.
But yeah, so I don't know. I think that's the Rey's parents I'm fine with. I think that was the biggest one. Like Phasma, I don't really give a shit about. Like her dying doesn't affect me.
Well, she didn't die either.
Nah, she probably did.
Yeah, I feel like she did. But if she didn't, like, I don't care as much about her. I think Snoke was the big one where I was like, well, who the fuck is he?
Yeah.
Like, where did he come from? Who trained him? Like, how did he get this powerful?
So powerful, but you had that one oversight.
Because it was like he was getting in people's minds without even being there. Like, look, the Emperor had to actually be there and physically talk to people and get in their mind. Like Snoke was doing it from afar.
Well, that's what's cool about this film. In essence, I mean, you see the capabilities of these guys.
So, but it is.
I mean, even Luke. I mean, you have Snoke being able to do the mind connection thing, not having to be present. Somehow he does Force lightning out of nowhere.
I saw
who did Force lightning?
Snoke.
Do that.
He did it so briefly.
Ray tries to charge him. And
he's like,
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
It's so brief.
I saw because again, a big complaint is the stuff of like, oh well, we've never seen this kind of thing before. Like, this is breaking.
What we saw.
Well, it was like an interesting point I'd seen brought up was like we never had seen Force lightning until the Emperor did it in the third movie of
it's okay, guys. They're just adding more to it.
And no one was complaining about that. Like.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, in the original. Because, I mean, in the new trilogy, they use Force lightning a lot. But, yeah, it was just, like, a random... So, I like it because, I mean, if you really think about it, too, like, Yoda probably could do a lot more than we saw.
Yeah, but we got... This is a tippet.
Exactly.
He was able...
So that's what I'm saying. Like, everyone's saying the Force is so strong now, and it's so different than it was. Because there were so many Jedi, and we don't really see Yoda fighting... and Yoda was the strongest back then, and it was you don't see him do a whole
clone.
He doesn't have the opportunity.
He was a ninja, bro.
Exactly, but it's you don't know the full extent of what it could do, and I think it's cool how they're kind of showing that more. And I would say it's probably there are less Jedi around, so maybe it's since there's less Jedi, the ones that are there are able to use so much more.
Well, when I wonder if I was thinking
that
about
almost
that
makes it seem like there's a limit to the Force, though.
Well. I think in terms of the balance, though, it makes sense to me why the Sith always seem to be stronger. For one, they're willing to give in to the more
it's easier to get
and hate and stuff.
Yeah.
But when there is hundreds of Jedi and 2 Sith, it's if the Force is trying to balance itself, it's gonna have to
weight to the Sith. Yeah,
give some weight to them, which is why Sidious beats Yoda, who's the strongest on his side, because now then we have the other way. It's okay. Kylo Ren is dark side, and Snoke is dark side. I think there's some argument that they're not dark side, or not. Sorry, they're not Sith, but they're dark side.
Snoke's not a Sith.
But and then they have to. The Force raises up. Raises up.
Well, and I think it is funny. They in this series they haven't really labeled Sith and Jedi. Luke sort of says
it's not the traditional
Jedi. Yeah. I mean,
they call her the Last Jedi at the end, but he has a point when he's saying that the Jedi have to end because at least the Jedi as we know it failed.
True.
No, and I like that he says.
If you're calling for a Jedi, that means you're gonna have a Sith on this side.
Absolutely. Well, and I like he even says at the peak of the Jedi, at the peak of their rule, they were defeated. So even their highest achievement was their greatest failure. And so I do like how, Luke goes into that saying, the way we were doing things wasn't working. Mm-hmm. There was a way around. We were tricked. So, and I do like how he does kind of explain his reasoning behind it. I don't think it was just I'm mad because Kylo and I don't want Jedi. I feel like they do give him a good reason to feel that way. And I feel like they make the internal struggle real
I think that's a great reveal. The fact that this all started because he had a moment of doubt and he was going to end it. And then in doing so, he created something worse.
Absolutely.
Or he brought it to fruition, essentially. You know?
Absolutely.
It was a self-fulfilling
But I
prophecy.
think it was even cool how they had, like, the different views of the way that scene plays out. Whereas first it's just
Luke's view.
Then you have Kylo's where it's like Luke is standing with like this look of hatred, getting ready to strike him down. Then you have like at least what we assume is the truth of, yes, I did in fact try to kill him, but decided not to. But
he caught me in the moment.
Yeah. I still don't. Another thing I found is the whole R2 thing. I feel like they're just like they're showing just enough of R2 to realize like, oh, there's interaction there, but they're totally just phasing R2 out.
And C-3PO.
Yeah,
they have been for a while.
Absolutely.
I mean, kind of even Force
But
Awakens.
like, because I was expecting like R2 to stay with Luke or at least be more of a appearance, but they're totally just like phasing him out. Like it was like you have that moment like he's like hi R2, and then R2's like hi, and then like shows him the thing, and then he's like cheap shot, and then
I like that though.
No, I thought it was really cool, but then like you never see R2 again. It was like, oh, they had a moment, and then R2's just like dead in a corner again. So
I mean, he is like a 60-year-old droid.
He's an older bot, man. There's so many new generations like BB-8.
Why can't C-3PO?
And the black one,
which actually I thought would have had a bigger role.
Yeah. I did like BB-8 in the trash can, like not knowing where the fuck he's going. He's just like bouncing all over the place. I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did like that part though. How you guys said it was kind of nice to sounds bad, but nice to actually see a failure. Just showing like just because they're the good guys doesn't mean they can always.
It's like the only plus side to that entire plot line.
Yeah, it's just showing that they're humans too that can fail.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, no, I think the movie overall was really good. It was just different. It took a while to sink in. But
I think the main
I mean, that's, to me, the last two Star Wars ones. Like, Rogue One was different, and I hated the beginning. And even now, still kind of go like, eh.
Really? I love everything about Rogue One. I really do.
I enjoyed it. I didn't love it.
Oh, see, I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was better.
There's
than
parts
Force
I loved in it. But... Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I really do think I liked it more. Okay. I don't know, but
I think
I liked it because it was different. It was just I don't know. It was just different for me.
Mm-hmm.
It had comedy in it and some other stuff which they hadn't really done as much before. So I don't know. I just liked it.
I think let's wrap it up with maybe a quick just thoughts on we mentioned it very briefly, but like the orphan at the end showing the Force.
I think it just shows that like there's hope out there. Like there are kids that are looking like even he's doing the thing with Luke. And I think to me it was showing the story because he was saying how like Luke was there and things were shooting. So it's like the story of what happened is going.
The legend
around.
of the Jedi continues.
Exactly, and it's saying like the powerful Luke. So even though Luke may not have like handled things the best the first temple around, like it shows that like that story is going and hope is spreading, and there are people that are getting stronger from it. It's kind of what I got from it, and that's kind of showing what the next resistance or rebellion is going to be is those people.
I have a hard time believing that kid is going to be in the next movie as a resistance fighter.
No.
But it's the idea it sets forth.
It's the idea, like he's in that casino town where the corruption is, so you could see like it could start like riots or.
In all honesty, I wasn't even I never even thought about the rebellion in that. It was just to me that the idea that we've been so focused on Kylo and Rey, but there are others out there with the potential to
of Rey. Like Rey's potential.
Yeah.
If she's a nobody.
Or Kylo's potential to go either way. We
Absolutely.
don't know, but that it's not just these two, that there are others out there, and that, the Force is still at work in the galaxy.
Yeah. No, I loved it as a closing shot, and I think
that was cool.
Just to kind of reiterate, it's the idea that there's hope and that anybody can draw from the Force. And and moving forward for Episode 9 and even the next trilogy that will be developed, it creates more possibilities. So
absolutely. I think it definitely it's opening things up. So I don't know. Has there been talk of like the next trilogy is like Rey gonna be in it and stuff?
Oh no. Well, it's unconfirmed, but it's going to be a
Skywalker
completely
saga.
separate storyline.
Oh, okay, well.
That
they say it's completely separate from the saga in general.
Right.
Meaning that Rey and those guys aren't going to be in it either.
Mm-hmm.
What if it just
in all likelihood,
they all die?
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see. But
I'm just proud because everyone is dead.
Episode 9 will conclude Rey and Kylo. Until
they decide to do like an animated series or something with Rey.
I feel like
actually they've already technically kind of got one.
Really?
It's called like Forces of Hope or something like that, where they focus on like there's one on like Rey, there's one on like Leia. I haven't watched any of them, but they're focusing on, I think it's one on Padme. I think it's supposed to be focusing on like the female leads and more of their story in an animated form.
In all honesty, to kind of close out, like I really feel like the whole series will end with neither Rey or Kylo dying. I really feel like it'll come to them like learning how to work with each other, or at least
to what gain though?
I don't know, because I feel like all the other ones have ended with just like, oh, we kill this person, someone takes over. We kill this one, so they have to end in a different way. So
that's why I think we give up on trying to save Kylo. Have to kill him, but she has to do it by embracing a part of the dark side to bridge the gap.
I mean, that'd be something new too. But I do feel like it has.
I will go ahead and say that I will be upset if Kylo Ren is still alive at the end. I'm fine with his character. I think that we actually saw some character growth. He's still a little bit of a whiny character, but I just don't. I feel like it would be too cookie cutter Star Wars plot to have him come back to the.
I agree with that, and I feel like actually. This one kind of states that almost his hope is lost, and they know. Like, they keep saying, like, even though it was like, my son died a long time ago. So, I mean, maybe. But then I feel like if maybe Rey dies too, because I feel like if she kills him and she's still alive, then you're still left with this imbalance.
Not if she's bridging the gap.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Yeah, there's definitely still some unfinished business between Kylo and Rey.
Yeah.
What? I need to wrap up because I gotta go. But what there is one thing that we didn't really mention in terms of Rey embracing the dark side in some capacity. During her like vision with Luke, he talks about how she just like jumped straight into the dark side, basically.
Right, yeah.
I thought that whole part was kind of weird.
No, it was kind of weird.
But maybe that's what it's leading into. Her jumping straight in the dark side is her being like this great Jedi.
Bro, I brought this up last week, but you wouldn't know because you didn't watch it. Last week, I said, what if they had it to where Kylo turned good and Rey turned bad, and that was the end? Of course, I guessed that for this one. But.
Yeah, that would have been kind of funny.
All right.
Crazy. But. Well, subscribe, comments, opinions, shoot them our way.
It is a very polarizing.
I think that's one of the best.
It's got like a 93% from critics, but then it's like a 57% for
audience. It's kind of crazy, but it's a great talking piece.
But then it has like an A on like the cinema score.
Let us know what you guys think.
I read somewhere that the audience score for this movie was actually less than the audience score for Justice League. But I don't know if that's true or not.
It did outperform every movie except for Force Awakens.
Wow. Justice
220 million. No, this movie. Last Jedi. Bye.
Next time on Next Topic.